Do you have a checking or savings account, whether high or low yield, and has a lot of money sitting in there and you're thinking to yourself, I feel like this money could be doing something more somewhere else? Well, I'm here today to tell you that you're probably correct about that. I'm also here today to talk about the 3 major things that I think prevents anyone from taking that extra money they have sitting around and investing it into the market to make themselves more money. As much as I don't like losing money, I also hate to see other people lose money. So I want to make sure that you feel comfortable by the end of this video to start investing today, even with $1, maybe $2, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just as long as you start after this video, then I've done my job. Especially today. In 2021, inflation is off the rails, so every dollar you have in your checking or savings account or any other account earning less than 2.5% annually is losing money. I hate to say it, but $1 in that account right now is going to be worth less in a year from now than it is right now, even if it's appreciating at 2%. You're going to lose 2.6% of that dollar to inflation, which is just the darndest thing. So let's get started on this video. We're going to talk about the 3 major things that could be holding you or someone you know back from investing today, and why and how you can get over them to start investing as soon as possible and have your money make money for you instead of losing money. So let's go. Oh yeah, and before we get into it, please make sure to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It really helped this video and channel out with the YouTube algorithm, and I couldn't thank you enough for it. So if you don't mind, that'd be great. Just scroll down a little bit, hit that like button, just tap it. Got it? Okay, let's get on with it. In my mind, the 3 main things holding anyone back from investing are: number 1, lack of information. Number 2, lack of familiarity with a system, a brokerage account, and the financial markets that we're dealing with. And number 3, lack of trust with those systems. So whether it's a brokerage account or just financial markets in general, there's a lack of trust that's pretty rampant. So starting with number 1, lack of information. Well, let me hit you with some stats here. By looking at this graph here, you can see that in the last 5 years, inflation has been absolutely off the rails recently. It's been going to numbers that have not been seen since 2008. So in June of 2021, which is 2 months ago as of recording this video, inflation was at 5.4%. Basically everything right now is more expensive. So the CPI measures all sorts of things that you might buy with your hard-earned dollars. And so if they're 5.4% more expensive on average, that means you're going to be paying more money for the same things. So if you're not doing anything with that money, basically just letting it sit in a checking account, it's devaluing itself over time. If you're not making more than 5.4% on any sort of dollar you have in an account, you're losing money. Of course, this is just 1 month of reporting in all of 2021. But again, by looking at this graph, you've seen that numbers have just been rising and rising. And according to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she sees more inflation coming. And pretty much everyone out there does, because of all the government spending that's been going on right now. That means for you as a potential investor is just that your investments are going to have to make more money than we ever would have thought previously. So something like a high yield savings account that earns 2-3% if you have a really great one may have been good in 2020, maybe 2019, 2018, because you're still beating inflation back then when inflation was 1 to 2 to 3%. And so as long as your APR in your savings account was above that level, then you're doing all right. But now you're not. That money is losing to inflation, so you're losing the difference between whatever you're getting in your savings account, whatever inflation is at. So if inflation's at 5%, your savings account is giving you 3%, you're losing 2% on your money. So if that's $1,000, you're losing $20 a year just to the ghosts of inflation. That's not good. That's bad. Okay, moving on to number 2. In terms of lack of familiarity with the system, I completely get that. These systems can seem scary. You have to enter a lot of personal information when you create an account. I completely understand. It's definitely daunting at first, but once you do it, you'll see that pretty much every account out there is going to ask you for the same things, and any sort of banking relationship you have in the future, you're going to need to disclose personal information. So if you don't want to, you can stick with a smaller number of financial institutions, or you can even stick with one and have everything through that one institution. Personally, I've gotten more comfortable with giving the information to multiple sources just because I like to have my money spread out over different places. But that's up to you what you're going to be comfortable with. Right now, what I want to show you is just how easy it is to get familiar with the system. I started with Robinhood way back when, and I still use them today, even through all their trials and tribulations. It's exceptionally good for a small investor. If you just want to put $1, $2, or $3 into something, you can, which is amazing. So I want to show you how to do that. So you're going to pull up Robinhood right here and then type in your favorite stock. How about Apple? You probably have an iPhone. Why not? Pull up Apple. I'm going to go to buy Apple, dollars. Sure. 1. Okay. Look at that. Now, if I just click buy, it'll sell me 0.006848 shares of Apple for about $146. That's pretty amazing. And it's truly that easy. So once you click buy, boom, you've invested $1 in Apple, purchased that many shares for $146.01. So obviously I only paid $1 for those shares, but I got a piece of an Apple share, which I will now keep and will go up over time. Just looking at Apple's chart over here, you can also see that. And you can see how if I had invested that $1 back in 2016, it would be worth roughly 443.17% more now. Wow, that's a lot of money. And that's something that you can do in the future. So if you feel like you want to buy $1 of a company that you really like, you can log on to Robinhood and do it. The only thing I ask is that you click the link down below to grab your free stock when you sign up for Robinhood. You don't have to put in any money. All you have to do is create the account and they'll give you the free stock, which is pretty cool, yeah? And if you want to, you can sell that stock right away to then buy whatever you want with that money. So say you wanted to buy $3 of Apple. When you get that free stock, sell it, buy $3 of Apple. Or buy whatever you want. I don't care, it's up to you. But start today. Click the link down below. Yeah. So obviously that's just one system. There are tons of other systems out there, and it does take some time getting used to them. Not everyone is as easy as Robinhood, and some of them have more complex interfaces where it takes a little bit longer to buy a stock, or some only let you buy stocks at certain times of the day. Either way, once you get going with it, I know it takes a little bit of tinkering around and some Google searching just to make sure that you got all the main concepts and everything down, but once you do, it's pretty straightforward. And once you've bought the securities, honestly, if you forget how to sell them, that's probably best for you. So just if you want to watch the video where I sold Amazon for $600 and could have made $3,500 on it, you can do that. Yeah. Okay. Last thing, in terms of lack of trust. First of all, I completely get that. The brokerage that I use the most, Robinhood, has had their fair share of bad PR events. They've had a number of outages where people couldn't place trades. And when GameStop happened, they completely shut down the purchasing or selling of any GameStop shares, which really did not look good, that's for sure. Luckily for a small retail investor like myself or like you probably won't be too concerned with these outages other than just perhaps the fear of your money not being perfectly safe, which I understand. But in terms of being able to buy and sell stocks at any given moment, already the market has hours, so you can't do that anyways. But on a certain day where maybe the market's going down really fast, it would be nice to be able to sell or buy more shares, but sometimes you just have to deal with that. And I understand if Robinhood isn't the one for you, but there are a number of other brokerages out there that are also pretty trustworthy. And if you really want to go with something really, really big, you can go with Charles Schwab or some other bank like TD Ameritrade. They've been doing brokerage accounts for years and are super trustworthy. They're just a little bit more challenging to figure out, I would say, and sometimes they have fees associated with an account. Also, you're not going to get a free stock when you sign up for Charles Schwab. So if you want to get a free stock, sign up for Red Bull, Robinhood, or Webull, or if you sign up for M1 or Public below, you get a ton of free money down there. You can sign up for all those things, and you can sell them right away, and then buy whatever stock you're looking to buy. What I would recommend for how to get over this hurdle, if you're looking at investing but you're not fully sold on it yet, what I would say is go down to the link in the description, start a Robinhood account, get that free stock with no deposit whatsoever. You can also start a brokerage account with Public. You'll get a free stock from them with no deposit whatsoever as well. So you have no money on the line. At that time, you can sell that stock or you can keep whatever stock they give you. That's totally up to you. But if you want to sell it, buy some super, super simple S&P index fund. I did a whole video on this on why this is the best stock in the whole wide world. But if you search up VOO, that's a great one. Basically anything that tracks the S&P, sell whatever that free share was and buy that. And then watch it for 5 years, watch it for 10 years. Please don't watch it for 3 months and then realize, wow, this is great, and just dump more money into it. If it helps you to start that slow, then I totally get it. Take whatever free money these brokerage accounts are going to give you. They're going to just dole it out because they love new customers. Take that free money, sell the stock, keep the money for a second, and then buy something really simple and just watch it over time. Watch how most companies, and especially S&P index funds, go up over time. Of course, they're not perfect, but the annualized return of most S&P index funds is about 8%, which is fantastic. 8% is above the 5 point whatever percent inflation might be at right now. So you can avoid losing money. That's what this is all about. That's what investing is all about. It's about making money in your sleep with no effort, and not really in your sleep because markets are closed. But when you wake up and you're at work and your money's making money, that's pretty amazing. All right, so key takeaways. Number one, I understand the lack of information, but it's really important to know that inflation is happening. It is happening at faster rates than it's happened since 2008. It's about 5% right now, and while it probably won't be way above 2 to 3% on the year, it's still something to watch out for, especially if your high yield savings account or checking account is yielding anything below 3 or 4% on the year, which it probably is. And number two, lack of familiarity with the system. I already showed you how easy it is to buy a stock on Robinhood, and I've done a video in the past how easy it is to create an account with M1 Finance. So all you have to do is start that account, get with it, sell the stock if you want to, and buy whatever you want to buy, or you can even put 20 bucks of your own money in and do it that way. But if you'd prefer to go with free money at the time, just take whatever Robinhood gives you and sit with that. Watch it over time, learn how to play around, check out Robinhood, download the app, play around with it, and get familiar before you actually do anything, which I understand. And number three, lack of trust with the situation. That I get. It's the market. It's never going to be perfect. You can lose money, but if you play it slow and you play it smart at first, you should be able to do a little bit of your own research and make sure that you're not losing money by buying stocks, that in fact you're actually making money and you're making money on top of inflation, which is what this is all about. So that's all I have to say. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing and turning on the notification bell. All right, I'll see you in the next one. I put out new videos every Monday and Friday, so I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Yeah, all right. And if you want to start that brokerage account, don't forget, links down below. All right, bye.